Hello everybody, this is BakaZombie. Welcome back to another Pokemon TCG video. In this video, we're going to be looking at a deck that revolves around a new card from the Twilight Masquerade set, and that is Conkeldurr. Now, off of first looks alone, not the most impressive of cards, and I will preface this video by saying this deck isn't as strong or consistent as a lot of the meta decks, but it can be really fun to play. It has a nice little quirk. That quirk being that this is one of the few decks that can run no energy and still be effective. You have things like Snorlax that's made to stall out your opponent and you're not running any energies. This deck, on the other hand, doesn't run any energies and it's made to attack. Like, you're going to be on the offensive with this. So we're going to go over some of the cards that are prominent in this deck and then get a few battles to show off how it works. So first, we're going to look at the Conkeldurr card. You see it does have 2 attacks. They all do have energy costs until you look at the effects of these attacks. The first attack we're never going to use because you need an energy for that attack, and we don't have any, but it is Tantrum, does 80 damage. This Pokemon is now confused. Now, that's what kind of plays into this next attack, but we have a different way of going about it, because Confusion is such a random chance of just not even attacking, and that really is worse than what we are already attempting to do. What we're trying to do is get off its secondary attack, Gutsy Swing, which does 250 damage, which knocks out a lot of Pokemon in this format currently. It misses out on some of the big EXs like Dragapult EX and Charizard EX. But a lot of those 220, 230 EXs, easy KOs for us. But the way we're able to get around the 4 energy cost of Gutsy Swing is the secondary effect. If this Pokemon is affected by a special condition, ignore all energy in this attack's cost. Now that's where you can kind of see the synergy between its first attack, where it confuses itself and able to use Gutsy Swing for free. But again, the confusion makes it so you have to do a coin flip. If you fail that coin flip, you do damage yourself and don't get to attack. So that's not as optimized as we would like to be. How are we going to optimize that? Well, there is another card from the Paradox Rift set, Brute Bonnet, with its ability Toxic Powder. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon has an Ancient Booster Energy capsule attached to it, you may make both active Pokemon poisoned. Now, the way that some decks utilize this ability without getting poisoned themselves, they would attach a Ancient Booster capsule. Is that the right words? See how confident I talk until I get to something I don't know what I'm talking about? Ancient Booster Energy Capsule, which stops your ancient Pokemon from getting a special condition. But in this case, we do want that special condition. So we are able to attach the Ancient Booster Capsule to the Brute Bonnet to get that ability off, and then we can poison our own Conkeldurr, and we can poison the enemy Pokemon. Typically, the enemy Pokemon's not going to live long enough to deal with that poison, but some of those Pokemon we miss the KOs on, we can tick away at them with the poison damage. Now, alongside our Brute Bonnets, we do have the Radiant Hisuian Sneasler, which during Pokemon Checkup, you put 2 more damage counters on your opponent's poisoned Pokemon, so they're taking 3 poison damage in between turns instead of the 1. So you're doing 250 Conkeldurr, an additional 3 from the poisoning to do 280 damage. And then if it gets back to us, they're up to 310, which KOs a lot of Pokemon again. Still misses out like Dragapult and things like that. But they're getting close to the point you just KO them. So just a ton of damage dished out from this poisoning and the Conkeldurr itself being poisoned. Now, a lot of the other cards in this deck are just too many techs. I do have 4 Sealstone in this deck, and you can actually use it this time. For those of you who watched the Lugia video, for some unknown reason, I had the genius idea of the last second before making the video chucking in the 4 Sealstone, and you don't want to use it in that deck because you want Lugia using up that V ability, not the 4 Sealstone. So in this deck, you can use it. But we did talk about the Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. That's the thing that's going to allow Brute Bonnet to use its ability. It does give Brute Bonnet a little extra health as well, which is nice. But typically, you don't want that Brute Bonnet out on the active spot. I will say, a weakness, the weak part of this deck, like if your opponent is if you're playing against this deck or your opponent is looking for something to do, targeting down the Brute Bonnets just completely kills this deck, because not only are you, like, if you use a boss orders to bring up the Brute Bonnet, not only are you killing the Brute Bonnet, which allows you to poison your Conkeldurrs, if your Conkeldurr was active and poisoned, it gets cleansed because it got pushed to the bench. So we have a lot of ways to try and get Brute Bonnet back, not only not only to get Brute Bonnet back, but also its items. So we do have Super Rods, and these are used to get back Brute Bonnets, or if you had like Chuck Tinders or Conkeldurrs, or if they just got knocked out, because this is a deck where your opponent has to take all 6 prizes, unless you end up using the Ursaluna or the Lumineon V, then they can get some extra prize off that. But typically, you're trying to make your opponent take all 6 prize cards separately. So we do have the Super Rods to get back Brute Bonnets and Conkeldurrs and Timburs. I can't talk tonight. Wow. We also are running one Roseanne's backup from the Brilliant Stars set. This allows you to shuffle a Pokemon tool card from your discard pile into your deck. It's not a ton. It's not as much as like Super Rod, but when your Ancient Booster Capsule item, Ancient Booster Energy Capsule are getting either taken out by like Lost Vacuums, or the Brute Bonnets are just getting targeted down, getting one back could end up saving you the game. Our ace spec for this deck is also Hero's Cape, just make Conkeldurr bulkier. A lot more poison damage can rack up that way. I've never knocked myself out with poison on Conkeldurr. It's usually he just dies. So the Hero Cape may or may not be useful. Maybe you want to run a Primal Catcher instead. But that is what I'm currently running on this deck. Otherwise, pretty typical supports, items, that kind of stuff. So we're going to get into some battles here, see if we can get some wins, or at least show off how this Conkeldurr deck works. All right, we get to choose the coin toss. We always go tails, we always lose. Let's see if that stands true. It does. We lose again. Lose our coin toss. I think the only time that I actually won off my coin tosses was like the first episode. Maybe like once or twice in some of the others. But typically, we just lose. I gotta not grab my mic stand because it makes a ton of noise. It's just such a comfort thing, though. Your opponent will go first. Okay, with this deck, we typically like to go first because you want to get that evolution going right away. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case for us. So our Timburs have a chance to be shivered. We're not going first, so it doesn't matter if we have Carmine or not. Typically, I only put down one card in the start phase. Just show off less of what your opponent has, and your opponent's not going to Iono you until you go first anyway. Or until you get to play anyway. Or affect your hand in any way. But they would be able to use like a Pokemon Catcher or a Prime Catcher and like disrupt who you have in the active, and that's typically why I try not to do that right away. My opponent gets 2 energy on their Teal Mask Ogerpon off the rip, so next time they're going to be able to attack. So our Timburr is dead, and that just means we're kind of just chucking our Timburr to the wayside. I'm going to get the Sneasler out. I have a bunch of Switch cards, but I can't really use them. I am just going to Carmine all this away, I guess. I guess I could have sacrificed my Sneasler. I'm going to play the... I don't really need that right now. I need to get another Timburr. Okay, well, I have to Artazon, unfortunately, for the Timburr. Didn't want to do that because that gives my opponent option to get cards that they need. So I'm going to get our Timburr. I'm going to shiver my own Timburs. And then next... yeah, we're not in a great spot. I'd like a way to guarantee the Rare Candy next turn, so we can get to Conkeldurr. But as of right now, it's looking like an Ultra Ball for Conkeldurr and an Iono, which doesn't help us because we're just throwing away supporters for no reason. Beach Court. Retreat cost of base Pokemon, 1 less, so their Ogerpons have free reign. Let me look at this. Chantel. Flip a coin if head. Search one of switch in one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. If tails, switch to active Pokemon on one of your bench Pokemon. Okay. The Meteorite Leaf Storm is just gonna kill me. That's fine. Well, it's not fine, but I mean, it's what we have going for us, unfortunately. Okay. My opponent has... Oh, my gravy. This isn't great. I mean, I might as well, right? I'm just gonna go and grab... I mean, I should grab Ursaluna at this point. Oh, I could grab Lumineon. Lumineon doesn't guarantee us they can kill her this turn, even. Oops. Can I see my whole hand quick before the timer goes down? Or my whole deck? Okay, don't run Professor's Research in here for some reason. And there's no Timburrs left? All my Timburrs are in the prizes. This is real bad. I guess grab Ursaluna, because it looks like this is an Ursaluna game, unfortunately. Let's play on Ursaluna, get an Iono. Hopefully my opponent grabs something. My opponent... So close, and yet no cigar. I think we just chuck our Hisuian Sneasler up there. The next turn we can Arven and start going, but gosh, is that bad. Oh, Hisuian Sneasler is for retreat cost. I never knew that, because I never have in the active spot. I could have slapped Hero's Cape onto Ursaluna. You hope it lived the turn, but I think we're going to try and see if Sneasler can live the turn. Okay, we got the Zarude. So this is like a full-on grass deck. I've never actually seen this Zarude card either. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon. This attack does 20 damage to new active, and then triple whip is 70 times the amount of heads you hit off of 3. Coin flips. They got their Zarude powered up, but I mean, so is their Ogerpon. If we can get, we should be able to get Conkeldurr up this turn, unless they somehow, oh gosh, 6 grass energies on this Ogerpon, because they're trying to just straight up kill the Sneasler. But that's fine. If they kill the Sneasler, we get Conkeldurr up next turn, and then we can slap this Ogerpon and KO it and get rid of 6 grass energies. It's kind of insane. And then we were actually caught up to them in prizes, which is nice. They actually didn't kill Sneasler. That's even better. Okay, so now I can play the Arven, Dear Moses, and get Rare Candy and an Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. All the pieces we needed. We can play Rare Candy, evolve our Timburr into Conkeldurr, Ancient Booster Energy Capsule to our Brute Bonnet, and we have to make sure our Conkeldurr's in the active spot before we poison their Ogerpon. It'd be sad if we didn't. I'll play the use Toxic Powder. Oh wait, I think Sneasler usually has a retreat cost, but because of their Beach Core, we were able to switch out. That's kind of nice of them. Gutsy Swing. Boom. And there we go, we're rocking. The nice thing is the Sneasler doesn't affect your own Pokemon. Only the enemy's Pokemon takes the 3 damage. You just still take the 10. Now, if the Zarude hits all of their heads, they can kill us, and that'll be bad. They need to hit. They need to hit all 3 heads to be able to kill us here. So they're gonna Super Rod, get back some energies, and an Ogerpon, of course. They're gonna play Iron Leaves. This is such an interesting deck. I would love to be able to get another Timburr on the bench next turn. But there's no more Timburrs in my deck. That's right. I got a Super Rod to get that Timburr out of the discard. I have 4 Timburrs, and apparently 2 of them are in the prize guard, so that's a thing. They're trying to decide if they want to drag off or triple whip. They're going to triple whip. They have to hit all 3 of these. There's a Tails. We survived the turn. They 2 Tails even, so only 70 damage. Nice. So we're going to get to KO the Zarude as well. And they'll just have the iron leaves. I really don't want Iono here. Okay, cool. I don't have to. Okay, Nest Ball. Grab. I got too overzealous. I'm not gonna grab anything. I just wasted a Nest Ball. I forgot I had to super route first. I got too excited to get a Timburr. So we'll grab our Timburr. I guess I have to Ultra Ball for the Timburr, unfortunately. Yeah, because I want to make sure I have a chance of getting Conkeldurr next turn if they are able to KO my Conkeldurr here. So there we go. We don't have to worry about poisoning them because I'm just going to KO them with the Gutsy Swing anyway. The big 250. And I didn't Iono there because they only have 2 cards in their hand. I don't want to give them something they need. So the best they can do here is Recovery Net. So I don't think they have a way to get 2 energies onto this Iron Leaves unless they have the double turbo. They don't. They just have the grass. Oh wait, does this get you draw 2 cards? Yeah. If you drew any cards in this way, attach up to 2 grass energies to one of your bench Pokemon. So they can't even. I can't even get the Iron Leaves powered up. Perfect. The best they can do is the Recovery Net, and that won't help them because I'll just KO them and then they have no Pokemon on the field. Recovery Net. That's going to be the game to Conkeldurr. Nice. Don't even have to worry about playing any other cards. Guys, don't dink around. If you have the game won, just go ahead and KO that Pokemon. Your opponent has already lost and they know it. You don't have to sit there and dink around with the cards. Remember on the first episode when I said I'd like to play out the whole turn? I quickly turned on it. I know I said it before, but don't do it. It's so annoying. You're on an online game that's moving quick and you just want to get to the next match. It's like, even in tournaments it's really bad sportsmanship, but like online it's like, I just want to get to the next thing, man. I'll usually just concede on people if they start doing that nonsense because I don't want to deal with it. But let's see if we can get another battle. Let's see if we can get rolling a little quicker this time. All right, we always choose tails. We always lose. What'd I tell you? What'd I tell you, gang? We lose the coin toss. Can you let us go first? I would love that, actually. I would love if we get to go first, actually. What do you know? I mean, that's not a great thing that our opponent gets to choose that we go first, because that usually means they have a deck that can attack, and they have a deck that can attack right away. I'm just going to chuck a little Timburr out there, see what they got. They're running Conkeldurr. Conkeldurr what, though, is the question. There can be so many other cards in there. Okay, we do have a secondary Timburr, though, so even if this Timburr gets knocked out, we're good to go. I'm going to drop everybody on the bench, because I don't want to get Iono'd. I could poison their Conkeldurr here, but that's just putting damage on my own Timburr, and then they can just transfer the damage anyway. So it's not really worth chip damage, doing chip damage to a Conkeldurr deck. I'm going to save the Trekking Shoes for right. Yeah, because there's no other cards that I need right now that wouldn't just get Iono'd away, and then I would have just wasted my Trekking Shoes. Yeah, so we're going to save that for next turn. Let's see. What do they play? Darkness Energy, that's why we didn't poison the Conkeldurr. They're going to Technical Machine Turbo Energize. They Iono. See? That's why we didn't play our Trekking Shoes. And we got all of our Pokemon on the bench. They're fishing for a Pokemon that they can Turbo Energize. It is a Blissey deck. Blissey Conkeldurr. The nice thing about Blissey is we can still KO it because it is weak to Conkeldurr. So we can just one-hit KO Blissies. Which is really nice. We do pull a Rare Candy and an Arven, so we can get set up next turn. can get set up next turn. We can knock out their Conkeldurr. And then they'll have a Blissey, but the Blissey shouldn't be able to KO us. They are grabbing a secondary Conkeldurr, though. So they'll have one for next turn as well. But they won't have any damage counters to move around next turn. Which should be a continuous trend throughout this match, because I don't really do small damage. I only do enough damage to KO any Pokemon in the active spot. So that's nice. Okay, they're just going to attach both energies to the Chansey. And end their turn. We don't top deck a Conkeldurr. Kind of sad. I would have liked to save some resources. But we're going to Arven. Grab us an Ultra Ball. So we can grab Conkeldurr. And then the Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. So we can start rolling with Conkeldurr. Ancient Booster Energy Capsule onto the Brute Bonnet. Hero's Cape onto Timburr. Ultra Ball to drop. I kind of want to keep Lost Vacuum. I'm going to drop 2 Gurdurrs because we can get those back with Super Rods if we need to. And then we're going to grab us a Conkeldurr. And we can Rare Candy, evolve into Conkeldurr. And then I can Toxic Powder. And Gutsy Swing. They do resist this, but it still does more than enough to KO a Conkeldurr. And we get a Dark Energy into the discard pile, which is nice. Nest Ball off the prizes. Not the most useful card for us here. They're going to bring the Chansey up to the active spot. Do they have the Blissey? There's the Blissey. Yeah, see, Blissey has 300 HP, but it's weak to fighting type, so I do 500 damage to a Blissey. Easy. They Pokégear to get an Arven. We're gonna play Arven. What did they grab from the Arven? Like, even a Hero's Cape doesn't save Blissey. Is a thing. Like, I kept the Lost Vacuum in case I needed it, but I don't think there's any tool cards that can save Blissey from just getting O-code. Maybe if they have De-Evolution in their deck, that'd be an issue. So then I'd have to try and find another Rare Candy. Huh, what are they looking for in there? Nest Ball and something band. There's Nest Ball, probably grabbing another Chansey because this Blissey's dead. No, Snow Run, so going with the Frostlass. The Frostlass strat here. But again, your Blissey's dead this turn. Rigid Band. What does Rigid Band do? There's so many just like random 2 cards I don't. I think it does 30 extra damage or something. Okay. Okay. What does it do? Don't take it away from me again. It takes 30 less damage from attacks. That doesn't save you. Just straight up doesn't save you. Right? Yeah, 470. Because it is applied after the... I mean, even if it was applied before the weakness, it still wouldn't matter. So here, I can Nest Ball. Get me another Timburr, just so I'm not scrambling for Timburrs towards the end of the game. I can play Iono because they have 6 cards. They got a bunch off of that attack, so I can just shuffle those away. And I grabbed a whole line here, so I can get Gurdurr out. I'm not going to worry about getting this Timburr out right now because I really don't need it. Trekking Shoes. Professor Turo scenario is interesting, but I can't get another Conkeldurr up this turn. Yeah, we'll keep it. We'll keep it. Because if I can pick up this Conkeldurr and just not give them a prize card, that's kind of goated. But we're going to Gutsy Swing, 470 damage. And we get 2 prizes. And we grabbed another Conkeldurr. So if we can get a Rare Candy here, we can get 2 more Conkeldurr on the bench. Opponent's choosing a new active Pokemon, so either they have to sacrifice their Conkeldurr or their Snorunt. I mean, even if they get to Frostlass, they're only doing damage to my Brute Bonnet and my Sneasler. And they're losing this Conkeldurr here. Did I? Okay, I haven't lost any boss's orders yet this game. Must have been last game I had to discard boss's orders. So, like, if they do end up putting a Chansey on the bench, I guess I could KO. I mean, I'm not really worried about Chansey being on the bench, or even them getting a Blissey. They're going to play another Arven here. See what they grab from it. So like I said, I'm just straight up taking KOs. So until they get a Frostlass running, they can't get any damage counters on the board. And even if they do get a Frostlass on the field, I KO this Conkeldurr here, so the damage counters just go away again. I can play Professor Turo scenario, pick up the Conkeldurr this turn. We do lose the Giant Cape and a Timburr, but it allows my opponent to not take any prize cards. They do pull a counter catcher up, so I wonder who they're trying to bring up to stall. That is one of the problems of this deck, is that there's no energy for retreating, so we do have to rely on switch items, which kind of sucks. But again, we have Professor's Turo scenario, so we can just pick up whatever they counter catcher to the active spot, and it cleanses the Conkeldurr poison, and you can just hang out on the bench, and it'll take too long for a Conkeldurr to try and tag it down. It'd take 3 turns, I think. Ultra Ball, get rid of boss's orders and Arven for a Frostlass. They're just full up, not even trying the Chanseys anymore. In the Blissies, because they just get KO'd right away. Let's see, do they counter catcher here? Counter catcher. Thank you. I actually wanted that to happen. We will be losing an Ancient Booster Energy Capsule on that, but we, I have another one. Okay, they're going to put the rescue board down on the Conkeldurr, but not retreat it, so it's getting KO'd here. Oh, we pull a switch card anyway. I don't need to bother with that with the Professor Turo. So we get to keep our Ancient Booster Energy, bring up a Gurdurr, evolve into Conkeldurr. I could still pick up this Conkeldurr. Do I want to do that? Do I need a Super Rod anything? There's 2 Gurdurrs. I might need a Super Rod a Gurdurr back. I'm gonna play Super Rod, get those Gurdurrs back in, because I don't know where my rare candies are. And we have a Timburr just kind of hanging out. No, I'm gonna save that in case they have another counter catcher. And then we can just Toxic Powder. And Gutsy Swing. KO the Conkeldurr. Now they're hanging out with a Frostlass and a Snorunt. We KO whatever comes to the active spot. Pull a Nest Ball. Doesn't help us right now. I guess I could... Well, no. I do it too many times. Oh, my webcam's off. Why did my webcam turn off? I've just been looking like that the whole time! Are you kidding me? Let me see if I can fix this. Why did nobody tell me? This is gonna mess up something. Hold on. There we go. My webcam's been acting up. I'm sorry, guys. Hopefully that didn't mess up any, like, the audio or anything. I don't know how long it's been like that. That'll be interesting to see. They play an Arven. They brought up the Snorunt. Pokégeared. It's doing it again. I see it blinking. It just turned off. What is my webcam doing, bro? We're just gonna not have it up then, I guess. I'm sorry. I don't know. My webcam's been acting up lately, guys. Let me make sure the right camera's being moved. Or not camera. Mic? Right mic is being used. So that should be fine. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. My webcam... Hopefully it's not, like, just fully gonna die here. Let's figure that out. Okay, they did counter catcher, so it's a good thing we kept the Professor Turo scenario. Who are they gonna pull up? Brute Bonnet again? Yep. It's fine. We have an Ancient Booster, Energy Capsule, and the Professor Turo scenario. So we're good to go. Survival Brace. What does this do? If the Pokemon in this card is actually has full HP and would be knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, it is not knocked out and remaining HP is 10, then discard this card. I would love it if I could get rid of that, but I don't have my Lost Vacuum, unfortunately. Oh, it doesn't matter because the poison. Just straight up doesn't matter because of the poison. Cool. Cool. So it's just their Frostlass now. And we get a Pokégear. Unless they have another counter catcher, we should be fine here. But even then, I think we'll be able to get out of it. But like, if we Pokégear to get a Arven, they're gonna Artazon. See what they get off an Artazon here. I mean, anything they get doesn't matter, right? They're gonna get a Chansey. They're rolling the non. Okay, I guess to heal. Usually you go with the 4 that you have the chance of getting extra prize cards. Yeah, and they just passed the turn. We have Roseanne's backup in case we need to get more of our... Get another one of our tool cards out of the discard. We just slap a Frostlass with a big old block of concrete, and we pull the Enhanced Hammer as our last prize. Easy win, baby, against the Monkey Dory Blissey deck. Let's go. Well, other than the weird camera issues, I think this deck ran pretty swimmingly. Again, we didn't really face super meta decks. Went against a pretty interesting grass-type deck to start off, and then this Blissey... The Blissey win was pretty cool, I'm not going to lie. But we had really good type advantage. Like, Blissey just couldn't hang out and soak hits. It just got 1-hit KO'd constantly. And then once the Blissey's out there, the rest of the deck really can't do anything. So Conkeldurr, the counter to hey guys, if you have too many Blissey decks we're running into, bring out Conkeldurr. But thank you guys so much for joining us for this video. If there's any decks you would like to see in the future, let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time with a new deck. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night, everybody.